Hello, I hope you're having a great day today. I'm having a wonderful day. I went to the one health store that reminds me of Whole Foods, but it is regionally owned, so there's only like 6 or 7 of them in the country. That is where I shop probably once a month. I'll go there and they have this entire section of discounted food. So any produce that's going off, they have in this area. And they had so many organic lemons in this section. I think I maybe got 10 bags of like 3-pound bags of lemons, all organic, which is such a good deal. So I am going to juice them, freeze the juice. I looked up and I could can lemonade, so I might do that. My only problem with that is I'm really running low on jars right now, so I'm trying to save all my jars for all of the tomato stuff that's still happening in the garden. So I'm holding off on that. I'll also probably make ice cube trays with lemon juice. In the past, I have dehydrated the lemons and I still have those. Actually, I'll show them to you so you can see what they look like. So this is the dehydrated lemons and they look more like orange slices, but they are lemons. And every time I open this, because I have this jar and then I have half of another jar, and I put this in our tea in the mornings if I don't have fresh lemons. If I do have fresh lemons, I'll use those. But if I don't, then I will use these, and they are wonderful. If you could smell this, it smells so good. So I may do that to some of the lemons as well because we're going into winter. So I assume the prices of lemons will go up. And even just normally buying organic lemons by the bag at Publix, or this is the other place that I get them, paying full price because I drink lemon water every single day. So we usually use a lemon a day, and it's just a way of adding extra minerals and nutrients. And I love having lemon water. I like having lemon tea in the morning with rooibos and ginger and honey. It's really good. Thank you all so much for your feedback with the Homemakers Chats videos, bringing them back. That makes me so excited because these are the videos I really love doing. They just kind of flow naturally based off of whatever I'm reading, making, doing, organizing. So I'll probably be doing more of these since you have overwhelmed me with requests on that community post that I made about this, saying yes, you would like them. So I am going to make them because it's fun for me, and I'll still do all of my other deeper videos that I have been posting. I am going to continue on with the Role of a Biblical Wife series. I still have lots of notes and stuff for future videos for that, but those to me, they take a lot of time for me to do because I feel the weight of them. Honestly, this week I have had so much fun. Do you ever just get this like burst of energy to deep clean your house? I think for some people, cleaning is just something that comes very naturally. They love it. They like deep cleaning. I am not one of those people. Cleaning does not come naturally to me. It's not something I love to do. I clean because I have to and because the comfort of life requires it. It is a discipline for me to actually clean. And so when motivation comes, I am all about it. And that's what happened this week. It was interesting because I changed my normal routine up a little bit. Normally every day I make a list of things that I do, and every day that list never gets finished because I always think I can do more in a day than I can actually do, and sometimes that's a little bit demoralizing. I need to set realistic expectations for myself, but I also think in some ways my list is like options of things that I can do. So maybe instead I should have like a box for urgent things that need to be done and then options. That way the urgent things always do get done. There is that quote from Mark Twain that says, "Eat the frog first thing in the morning." And I did not like that quote the first time I heard it. I had to look into it, and it actually, what he means by that is do the hardest thing first thing in the morning. The thing that you dread doing the most, or the thing that you've been putting off, do that first thing in the morning. Eat the frog first thing in the morning. So that quote comes to me often, and even still, I sometimes don't do the thing that I know is the most priority thing, which again is just an area that I need to grow in. But one day this week, I decided to not make a list at all. And I was like, you know what? Today is going to be an intuitive day. I'm not going to make a list for myself. I'm going to lean on my intuition and do what I intuitively feel led to do. And obviously we can't do that every day of our life. Maybe you can, but maybe if you like grow and develop in discipline, that would be a good thing. I do think lists are very helpful though. But this is just a one random day that I decided to do this. So I'm getting ready in the morning, doing my makeup, and I noticed that my makeup brushes are dirty. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to clean my makeup brushes today. My goal is to clean them once a month. I have a little chores list, and it's daily, weekly, and monthly. And in the monthly section is makeup brushes. And it's probably been a few months since I've cleaned my makeup brushes, honestly. So I was like, I'm going to do that. And then I was looking at this shelf in the corner of our bedroom, and we thrifted it. We got it from a yard sale 2020, at the end of 2020. It definitely had some wear and rust and all of that, and I've always thought, well, I like the aged look of it, but I was looking at it this day as I was getting ready, and I was like, I actually don't like the aged look of it. It looks dirty to me. I'm not liking this. And I remembered that we had Kiehl's white paint that we've had, again, for years, and I remember that was in the shed. Then it got me into this, like, you know what, I'm going to actually do our whole bedroom today. I'm going to deep clean the whole bedroom, take everything out of it, reorganize it, deep clean the floors, clean the walls, dust, get everything, like fall cleaning. And that's what I ended up doing. And it was so much fun. I took out everything from the bedroom. So our living room still right now has lots of things that never went back into the bedroom because I don't want them in there, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. But the bedroom is now so nice and so peaceful. There's no clutter. I'm trying to eliminate surface clutter in the bedroom. There's a book that I love, and it's called Wabi-sabi something, Wabi-sabi Welcome. It's probably not for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea or style, but I find great inspiration from it. I'm actually going to go get this book. Again, this is why I like these videos, because as things come to mind, I'm going to talk about it. So my plan for this video is to talk about some organization things I've been doing, thrift things that I have found, and the Jane Austen book that I read. That is my plan loosely. So we'll see how far we get into it. But I'm going to go get this Wabi-sabi book because some of you will like to see the pictures in it to get a reference for what I'm talking about. This is the book that I'm talking about, and it is called Wabi-sabi Welcome. It was actually completely covered in plastic when I bought it from the bookstore, but just from the open binding, I just loved it, and I thought it was going to be very inspiring, and it is. This is definitely one of those coffee table type of books. It's not like a read-through book, but it's very much a simplistic, primitive style, and wabi-sabi, I believe, is a Japanese word. I've listened to podcasts on the word wabi-sabi, and many people say it's unfortunate that it's turned into an aesthetic style because that's not the original Japanese meaning for the word wabi-sabi, but the aesthetic style of wabi-sabi is very pretty. So you can see this picture of all of the terracotta pots. It's, to me, a simple, minimalistic, beautiful design of natural elements. It's not over the top, even like the simplicity of this privacy fence. This style reminds me a lot of the styles in South Africa when we're there. A lot of the coffee shops are this style. A lot of places have these type of fences, and I always take so many pictures when we are in South Africa of different places that we go to because it's just always very inspiring to me. But even down to the simplicity of the design of like a rock with a vase and a flower on it. I just love it. I think it's so pretty and simple. So that's basically what this whole book is about, stories and pictures and different cultures, things that they do. I mean, I could show you so many things. She does give some recipes and shows pictures of the food. This is the inspiration for our bedroom. I really want it to be very simple. I don't want all of my stuff to be out because all of my makeup stuff was sitting out in the corner and I didn't like it. It just always felt like there was clutter in my little makeup get ready area. And so I ended up, my mom actually, all growing up, she has this long dresser and she always kept her makeup in the top right drawer. That memory pinged in my mind when I was trying to figure out what to do with my makeup. And I have a dresser that's almost exactly the same style as, it's probably nearly the same style as my mom's. And I was like, I am gonna put my makeup in my top drawer. So I organized it. It looks so nice. So just doing little things like that. I've now moved on to our bathroom. And even then we have this cabinet in the corner of the bathroom. We'll probably eventually get rid of this cabinet, but it's there right now. So we're gonna make use of it. The only problem is the shelf, it's like 3 cabinets, the top one's open and then the bottom 2 have our like actual cabinets, but there's no shelves within it. So it's just these giant cabinets, which is fine for towels if you're gonna stack towels up, or the bottom cabinet, I put all of our toilet paper and paper towels in it. But all of my bathroomy stuff that I want to keep hidden away, I can't put a lot in there because the cabinet's so big and nothing's tall enough. So it really needs shelves in the middle of it. So we talked about getting wood and Scott making me shelves, and sometimes I'm hesitant sharing some of the makeshift things that I do, because in one video that I did of making ugly spaces beautiful, I was talking about our shed and how I don't like our shed. We're gonna move the shed, so we're not gonna be spending money on making it look nice where it is because we don't plan on it staying there. But our shed is all damaged. It's how it was when we got here. And so instead, I'm gonna make it beautiful around it. I'm gonna make plants around it. I'm gonna have morning glories grow up over it and kind of hide the ugliness. And in that video, I had some commenters say, well, you could go and buy wood and put wood over top of it. You could go and buy paint and paint the whole thing. And I think they may have missed my intention in sharing what I was doing, because I was like, well, I could do a lot of things. If I wanted to spend money, there's a bajillion things that I could do with this shed. That is not a priority for us. We do not want to spend money on this thing that we're going to eventually move. We might tear down. I don't know. We haven't decided what we're going to do with it. I just want to temporarily do something that will fix what's bothering me about it. That's how I think of many things, that it's like, this is a goal, this is something that we want to do eventually, but it's not a priority right now for our money. Something that really helps me with understanding finances is thinking of it as a game to win. And so I'm always thinking, is it winning for our finances if we're spending money here? I'd rather save money here and spend money doing this thing. And that's going to be unique for everyone. There's that Lisa Graham McMinn quote that I love where she says choices reflect values. So how everyone spends their money is going to be unique to their own values. Again, this is why you can't compare how you're spending your money to how other people are spending money, because everyone has different values. And that's why with that shed, I wasn't going to go and spend money on paint, although someone else that lived here, that could be the first thing that they do is get a brand new shed. We just don't care about the shed that much. We would rather spend money building a garden, which is what we did. So same with the bathroom. With this cabinets, wood is so expensive. I was like, you know what? I do not want to spend money on a shelf for this cabinet when we're probably eventually going to take it out. It's closed. Nobody is going to see it but me. And so a few weeks ago, I bought these metal shelving. Actually, I'm going to show you because I still have 2 left. So I went to a thrift store and they had these metal racks, which I don't know if you remember those, like it obviously came from when those shelving units with the little plastic corners and you'd build these boxes were trending or in style, but it was just 4 of these and it was $2 for all 4. And when I saw this, I thought this could be useful for makeshifting a shelf for our tomatoes. I was having to pick them before they were ripe because we were having a worm issue, and so I thought I was gonna make a shelf out of these, and I never did. But with the bathroom cabinet, I was like, these fit in here perfectly, and now I just need something to stack them to where I can use these. This is something I've been stewing on for a few weeks now, and I was walking around our house and I recently bought a new rug for our guest bedroom, which I'm so excited about. Once that room's finished, I'll show you the before and after. I haven't even started it yet. All I have is the rug, but I'm very excited about it. But the rug came with this tube, this cardboard tube, and I have it laying up against the wall of our house because it's another problem I have. I think everything can be reused for something, and if it can't, then I need to throw it away. But I hadn't thrown it away yet, and so I was like, wait a second, I could cut this because it's a heavy duty cardboard roll. I could cut this up and use that as the legs, cut slits in it, and make a makeshift shelf out of this cardboard tube. And so that's what I ended up doing. I just used my box cutter, cut it up, made slits in it, and put it in the shelf. I think it would have looked a lot better if I would have painted it black. You would have probably never known it was just cardboard tubes, but again, it's in the closet, no one's gonna see it but me and now you. But it's simple and it was cheap. Though it cost me $1 for the whole thing, because these little shelving things are 50 cents each, and so that whole thing just cost me $1, and it works perfectly. It's fun to be resourceful with things that you already have, because then you can save your money on things that are more meaningful for you. So whenever I share those type of things, even when I was making this, I was like, if I ever show this to anyone, they're gonna be like, you could have literally bought wood and just made a shelf that way. Why are you doing this? I do realize that not everything I share is going to be for everybody. You may look at that and think that is the tackiest thing I've ever seen, and that's totally fine. I understand. But I like being resourceful, so if that is inspiring to someone else, then I'm happy to share it. Speaking of, I also have this shelf, which I've had this. It's actually a vintage, what do you call it? Stamp drawer for different fonts that was, I was assumed, used at a print place or a newspaper place or something. So it's this very large old drawer, and I got this at an auction probably 3 or 4 years ago. We would go to in-person auctions all the time, and I think I paid maybe $10 or $15 for this. At our old house, I used it for an essential oil shelf because they fit in here perfectly. And since we've moved here, it's just been leaning up against the wall in our desk room. And so I got it out after I organized the bedroom because I thought maybe I could organize essential oils in this. But there's nowhere in our bedroom where this would go that I liked it. And then I thought maybe the bathroom would work, and there was nowhere in the bathroom that I liked it. And I don't use essential oils like I used to. I used to use essential oils all the time, and I just don't anymore. I haven't bought an essential oil in years. I still like diffusing them from time to time, but I just don't use them topically as much. Instead of putting them on display, since I don't use them as much, I have a nightstand, and I've just put them all in there, and that worked perfect. But then I was like, this thing is too cute not to use, and I don't want it to be filled with trinket. I don't even have trinkets, but I don't know. I was like, something will come to my mind, and I don't want to sell it. I don't want to get rid of it because there are things that just hold special memories. I know exactly where I got this, and yeah, so I don't want to get rid of it. And it is vintage. You can see, I don't know if you can see in this video, but all of the old, the Q, the R, it's upside down for you, but the letters are all in here, and I just love it. I think it's so cute. So I was in the guest bedroom, which currently has all my art stuff in it. It needs organized. I have art stuff all over the place, but that's also my sewing room. So that's going to be our guest bedroom / sewing room. In that room, I have a drawer that is filled with sewing thread. I have never had to buy thread new because I've gotten all of my sewing supplies from auctions. And so I have so many little spools of thread, more than I know what to do with. So I am going to put them, all of the small, so the bigger ones don't fit, but all of the little small ones fit perfectly. They fit in the small ones and they fit obviously in the bigger ones. And I just think it's going to be so cute, especially with the color palette of that room. I'm gonna try to pick the spools that I think are pretty and match the aesthetic, so that way it's not only functional but it's very pretty as well. Like, I have tons of these little spools on these pipe cleaners and I can put all of those in there. These are the ones that are bigger that do not fit because they're too wide for it. But then there's this medium size one, so you can see it's bigger than the other ones. It's a little fatter than these, but that does fit. It just doesn't fit, whoops, it doesn't fit at the top. Oh, it fits up there too. But I think it's gonna look so cute in there right above my sewing machine. So I'm very excited about this new purpose for this shelf. It has been given new life. And then some of the other things that I've thrifted recently, I found this at a thrift shop. Yeah, we were out of town. We did a little 2-day trip out of town. It was so much fun. We went to a bunch of thrift shops and I saw this little vintage plant sprayer for $5, which I thought was such a good price. The sprayer works, it sprays beautifully. It's a nice mister, and one, it's just beautiful. So I love that. But two, I thought this would be very useful for when it's time for seed starting. There are some seeds that need to be surface sowed and then you can't water them by pouring water on them. You need to spray them. And so that is what I'm going to use this for. So it is not only pretty, but it's also functional. So that's usually how I decide if I want to buy something. Is it pretty, functional, or meaningful? Meaning, does it have nostalgia to it? Or does it remind me of my family or Scott's family? Something like that. That's usually the three things. Like, it has to have some of those for me to buy it. And then another thing that I got was this wicker old basket, and this is handmade. I got it for $12. That's more than I normally pay for baskets, but this was an exception because I'm not going to use this basket for all my garden stuff, which is normally why I buy baskets and why I will never pay more than $1 or so for baskets, because whenever I use it for garden stuff, they get pretty worn out and they get well used. This I do not want to ruin, but I think it is so pretty and so well done. And I was amazed that it was only $12 because when you see these type of handmade primitive baskets at antique shops, they are a lot of money. So I was very excited about this. And then that same antique shop that we were out of town for, they had this white huge crock for $20, which is very rare to be able to find. This is a 2-gallon crock. I don't know if you can see there it is. It's always more than $20 for these type of things, especially the white ones. I have several crocks. I don't have one this big, but I thought when I saw this that I could use this for my rolling pins, because my rolling pins right now are too big for the one I have in the kitchen. And then I also have all these little jars inside of it, which I also got when we were out of town. They were 69 cents for these glass bottles, and I just thought these would be so cute for all of the flowers and stuff we're growing in our garden, to be able to just fill them up with water and have a few stems of flowers in it. Or for fall foliage, I'm growing sorghum and broom corn, and those are very decorative and pretty, and so I could always put them in these and set them around the house. This was also 69 cents, but it's just a little bit smaller. So I thought that was a very good deal as well. And then I also got some books. I've never read any of the Little House on the Prairie books. I'm trying to build our classics library, so that is something I'm always on the lookout for. And there is a little bookshop in our area, maybe 7 minutes down the road from us, and it's totally unlike any other bookshop thrift store that I've ever been to. It's this mom and daughter that own it, and it is just sweet, beautiful atmosphere. They have antiques, but they sell things at very good prices. That's where I got that basket from. It's just so beautiful and well done and not overpriced. Normally at those little boutique type of places, especially bookstores, they really overcharge for things, but they don't, and it's just so wholesome. And they have tons of classics. Scott even liked going there. I went once by myself, and then once we went together, and there's all like a whole section of history books, war books, all of those type of books that he likes, like more masculine fiction books that are classics. So he found some books that he enjoyed, and then they had the entire Little House on the Prairie series for $20, and I could not get it, because when are you going to find all of them? And all of them for a reasonable price. I have a feeling that these books were not the ones that came in here. They look like they should be. They have the little print that's the same, but they don't all fit in here. So this is the first one, which I actually feel like I may have read this one when I was little. Looking at the cover, I actually feel like we had this exact book. So maybe we had it, but I don't know if I ever read it. I'm not sure. But that is my plan this winter, is to read the Little House on the Prairie books, and I just think they're going to be so cute and so sweet. On that note, I mentioned in my last video how I finished reading Pride and Prejudice, and that is another book that I've never read before. I've never read any of Jane Austen's books, and I never really had an interest in reading her books, to be honest. But when we were getting ready to leave for South Africa, actually we were in the New York airport, and we had a 10-hour layover there. This was last December. I was like, you know what, it'd be really nice to be able to listen to an audiobook. I like people watching, especially in airports. I find people very interesting, so I don't mind just like sitting there and looking around, but I thought it'd be nice to listen to a fiction book. And so I pulled up my Libby app, and that is the free library app, but they never really have a good selection, especially if you want something in the moment. Normally what you're looking for, they either won't have it or it will already be booked out and you have to place a hold on it. However, they had Pride and Prejudice available, so I downloaded it and started listening to it and really liked it. I didn't get to listen to it very long, because then we boarded our flight, and when we were on the plane, I saw that they had the movie, the newer movie. I think it's 2005. Yeah, the 2005 movie, and I was like, I am going to watch this. So I started watching it, but then I was dozing off. I did doze off, and I never finished it. I probably fell asleep a third into it. So when we got back from South Africa, for some reason I thought I had Pride and Prejudice, just because we're always buying books at auctions, because you can buy someone's entire library from anywhere from $1 to $10. Even if you only like a few of the books and get rid of the rest, it's still going to be well worth it. So I thought I had Pride and Prejudice, but it was Sense and Sensibility. We went to an antique store, and it was one of those antique stores where everyone has booths, and there's this old book booth, and in it they had Pride and Prejudice and Emma. So we went ahead and bought those. I paid $2.50 for this. I tried to start reading it this spring, and I struggled. I struggled with it so much, because I realized that very quickly, this is one of those books that you cannot just daydream while you're reading it. You can't start thinking about other things while continuing to read and pick up where you are. It's like if you stop paying attention, then you don't know what's going on. And I realized that that was a struggle for me. And so I decided I was going to try the audiobook, but it was the same problem. I would start doing stuff, because I always listen to audiobooks while I'm doing other things. And so I would start doing other things and then realize I have no clue what's going on. So I was like, if I want to read this book, I need to actually pay attention. I'm going to read it, imagine it, picture what I am reading, and actually focus. Once I figured out what was going on, I loved it. I flew through it. I finished it maybe 2 weeks ago now, and I really enjoyed it. It was such a good book. And I had one of you commented and asked if they thought that maybe Jane Austen was a feminist and were concerned about letting their daughters read any of her books. And I can see how you think that. I would assume that maybe Jane Austen for her time was probably more feminist than most. I don't know. She never did get married, but I think, yeah, I don't know. But for me, what I liked about this is that marriage was very much a priority throughout the book. I liked the characters in it. I feel like you could imagine the characters in real life based on how she described them, like Mr. Collins and his character, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but you could just imagine all of these characters, even Mr. Darcy, and how he came across as cold, but Scott and I called them like the strong silent type, and I thought a lot of it could be teaching moments. So I did not get that it was feminist, especially compared to modern day Christian books that I have read. I have a whole bunch of Karen Kingsbury books that I bought over the years, and I decided to start reading them again last year, and I did not enjoy them. I was like, these are like Christian soap operas. I don't want these in my house. I will never read them. Everyone will have their own opinions on what they think about it. That's my own opinions on her books. So I much prefer this over the modern day Karen Kingsbury style novels. I do think that the father could be more patriarchal. He could help his wife rein her in her emotions and her manipulation, and his daughter Lydia needed fathered because she was a mess. But again, I think those are all lessons to be learned because those are very real life things. And then we watched the movie together, the 2005 movie, so the 2-hour movie. Scott and I watched it, and Scott is not a movie person. He doesn't watch movies, so it was a shock that he was going to watch this movie with me, and he actually liked it, which was fun. He didn't realize that the movie, it's like actually funny, and it's not just some chick flick. So we had a lot of fun watching it together. I thought Keira Knightley was a great character for Elizabeth, and it was just really well done. And yeah, so I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I've decided to stay on my Jane Austen book series, so the next one I'm reading is Sense and Sensibility, and then I'm thinking after that I will read Emma. So that is my plan. I have started Sense and Sensibility. I am enjoying it. It has been slow for me to get going, but I think, again, it's just persevering through the first third of the book. So that's my fiction book that I just completed. I think that concludes today's Homemaker Chats video. There are many other things that I could ramble about, recipes to share, but I think that will be my next Homemakers Chats because I think this has gone on for quite a while now. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of your day.